Back to the WPPM studios in Philadelphia. This is the World Sports Show.
And welcome back to World Sports Show. Charlie Flo here with John Acrisio, WPPN LP Philadelphia. On the phone line, we have Hailai Arghandiwal. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Great. How's sunny California treating you?
It's beautiful. The past weekend has been unreal. Super hot weather, but fortunately I'm posted up in Oakland, and it's beautiful.
Well, that is a good thing.
Breeze and no complaints. Yeah,
good.
No complaints at all.
Perfect playing weather. You told me earlier today your brother has a game today, so it's a good day to be outside enjoying the beautiful game.
Oh, 100%, definitely.
So you've got deep roots with Afghanistan. Let's just start from the part of how you got linked up and playing for Afghanistan. Because if correct me if I'm wrong, but you were born in California, right?
Correct. Yeah, I was born in Alameda and grew up in the Tracy community. And the Afghan community there in Tracy is incredibly strong. And soccer is the sport. Everyone plays it, and it's kind of something that I was born on the field. And my older brother, had played soccer all his life, so definitely soccer was introduced in lives at a very young age. And that community just started to grow, and the guys' teams were starting to form, and so there's a lot of competition between cities in the Bay Area, and they would host Afghan tournaments. And at one point when I was about 14 years old, the men's Afghanistan national team coach came out to California to recruit some players for the national team, for the men's national team. And I was obviously playing with the girls, and on the side it wasn't really anything too serious, but he was across the field. He saw me play a little bit, and he came out and reached out and said, "Hey, I think you should join the Afghanistan national team." And at 14 years old, I was like, "Whoa, are you sure? I'm a baby right now. Is this something that I should do?" And lo and behold, I've been a part of the national team since I was 14 years old. And one of the most grateful experiences I have had. So definitely an incredible experience for sure.
How does that conversation go with your parents? I mean, obviously they're very supportive of you playing the game, but we do hear a lot of the players within Afghanistan might not always have family support.
Yeah, well, I've been blessed. My parents were incredibly supportive. The fact that my dad and my mom just threw me into soccer at a very young age. I started playing when I was 5 years old. There was no hesitation from my parents, which I'm very, very grateful for, because I know a lot of young girls don't have that type of support. So when that conversation came up, they were just happy that I would have the opportunity to represent their homeland, and to somehow have a connection to a land that I've never seen. So they were very supportive of it.
Now, when did you actually first, go to a camp with Afghanistan or go and play a game for Afghanistan? Because 14 is very young. I mean, we talk about in the U.S. pool play system, they're worried, getting ODP. They're not actually, getting looked at for the national team for at least to their late teens.
Right. Well, actually, my first international experience was that year when I was 14 years old. I went to Bangladesh for the Southeast Asian Football Federation Cup. That was my first experience with the team. I met the team about 2 days prior to our first game. And that was my first cap, 14 years old.
Wow. What else was I doing at 14? Man, it is probably hits you sometimes that getting that experience so young, there's parts of you that had to grow up really fast.
That's definitely something that happened very, very quickly. 14, being raised in California, we're very privileged. I was very privileged, having the parents that I had, incredibly privileged. And then you meet your teammates and you hear their stories, and you also see other countries like Pakistan, India, Bhutan, all of their stories. You start to meet all these girls, and you you realize that your bubble is incredibly small and protected, and you're privileged. So at 14, I realized, you know what, the world is a little bit bigger than just California and competitive soccer in the States. So definitely grew up a little bit faster than I had thought I would. So
what did you take out of that first game? You're wearing the Afghanistan jersey. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of pride, and your heart's just probably bleeding with emotion during that.
100%. When the national anthem of Afghanistan was playing, I remember just being in tears. Like, even at 14 years old, representing your country in an international game, I mean, it was incredible. I felt numb during the whole national anthem, and then I tried to zone back in because I definitely had to perform. But it was something out of a movie, for sure.
Now, when you come back to the States after you've gotten these, international games, it's got to be an interesting conversation with your current coaches and your teammates. Just, it's sure that's an inspiration to even your community too.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because I was so young, right? I was very, very young, and I don't think I understood what my role or responsibility was at that time. Because I was just so young, I was recruited. Like, I was chosen for the national team. And so my head was just like, what? Like, I'm actually that good? Like, they want me? It was more of like it was a selfish mentality. Like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. Like, this is great. And then after going to my first tournament, I came back and I was like, this is much, much bigger than just me. Like, much bigger. Being able to come back to the States and have the resources, like my club coaches, my high school coach, all of the resources that I had, definitely put everything into perspective. The girls would ask, like, how was it? Like, what'd you like about it? Like, this and that. And my biggest thing was, like, we have so far to go, and I can't wait to get on this journey. Like, I'm so happy I started it. So that's the shift that happened when on my first trip. Like, it became less about me and, like, this accomplishment of being 14 years old and playing to, all right, this is a bigger picture. These girls have a lot to learn, and I have a lot to give. So that kind of shift in mentality was huge when I got back.
Yeah, I think one of the big things that I've talked to a lot of you guys on the team about and the coaching staff is that we talk about, a lot of the players in the American games, fighting to get, equal play and field time where your teammates in Afghanistan are just trying to play. And I think it really puts it into a big perspective now that I've been, helping you guys out that is the bigger picture. I think that a lot of people aren't aware that, a lot of players aren't allowed to play. There's different rules involved and it becomes, an international team where just getting the team together is a lot of logistics planning because you're coming from California. There's players in Europe. You got players in Afghanistan that I think a lot of national teams don't realize how easy it is for them to get together for just a couple-week camp. And I'm sure that's played into factor of all the travel you have to go around the world a couple times. Yeah,
it's incredibly involved. There's a lot of moving pieces. And the fact that our staff is able to take that on willingly and just put in the work because they see the opportunity that's there with these girls, these women, and the opportunity that they deserve, that they are owed this. It's a lot. It's a lot for everyone, especially the girls in Afghanistan. Like, my heart aches every time I think about it because I have no restrictions here, right? I'm able to go to the field and train when I want, play with my team. I can go play with the boys when I want. And unfortunately, that's not the case with the women in Afghanistan. And they're working within boundaries that are unimaginable, but they still take that risk. They take that risk with, in the back of their mind, they know, okay, I'm doing this for the team. I'm doing this for the team. And that's the most selfless thing I've seen come from our national team is these women see the bigger picture, and they're able to risk their day-to-day lives, their reputation. And, I mean, women playing soccer in Afghanistan is still not a common thing, and it's not widely accepted. I mean, there are communities or groups in Afghanistan that are supportive, and we are very appreciative of it. But it's like playing chess. There are people who are kind of stuck in their ways and don't see the amount of strength and opportunity that can come from allowing these women to play. And there are others that, are supportive. So it's, again, it's like a game of chess where there are a lot of moving pieces, and we're all just trying to take one step at a time.
What was the transition like from being on the national team, and you're still with the national team, to going to Santa Clara and balancing that, you're a student athlete, and you're also a national team player? Because, you only hear of only a few of the national team players on the U.S. roster that come from the college camps, but, I mean, they're all having their camps within the U.S. They're talking of 2 or 3 hour flight, and only miss maybe a couple days of school. Now, what was that process like when you're at Santa Clara, being on the national team, and how'd you balance out the camps and the games?
Well, it's funny you say that, because we are, again, very limited with our resources, so we weren't able to have the amount of camps that we had initially wanted. Ideally, we would want a camp every year, a couple times a year, and that wasn't able to happen with our funding, because half of us are outside of Afghanistan, outside of Kabul, somewhere in Europe. But the only camp that we did have during my time that I was able to attend was actually this past February, when we went to Amman, Jordan, which was it was a great camp for us. It was a big step forward for the whole national team. But when I first got to Santa Clara, I had expressed to the national team that, I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish with the Santa Clara team. And my priority is, again, to be a national team player, but also a Division I athlete. And simultaneously, I'm getting better, and that means that I can be a better asset to the national team when I'm called upon. And they were very much understanding of that. And since we didn't have much going on in terms of tournaments and in camps, I was able to put all my focus onto Santa Clara and performing there up until my senior year this past January, February. And I mean, I missed about 2.5 weeks of school, and I was graduating that quarter too. So it was a lot of moving pieces. Being an athlete, one, being a student athlete, two, and then a student athlete on a national team. It is a tough task, but you do it because that's the dream, right? You're working hard, and you're staying focused because there's a bigger picture at hand.
Yes, let the listeners out there know that you did actually, I saw that your last final years of your college career, you were WCC All-Academic Honorable Mention. So you've actually got a pretty good GPA, I'm assuming.
I do. You know what? I think a lot of, and I'm very proud of student athletes because of this. I think it's just a mentality of we work hard and we like to excel and, be the best that we can be at our sport. And that mentality, I believe, translates into academics. And so, I mean, all of my teammates at Santa Clara worked incredibly hard, and the whole team was above a 3.0, and there were a few of us above a 3.5. It just, that excellence, that will to succeed on all fronts was permeating throughout all, between sports and academics. So I think it's just kind of second nature. You want to be good at everything that you do and not just mediocre.
So your next steps is you're going to Italy. We had touched on that. I just want to share with the viewers that you're going to be attempting to play some soccer over in Italy now.
Yeah, really, really fortunate for this opportunity. I had received an email from a former teammate who is now coaching, who linked me to this program, and they basically are a funnel for non-European athletes, primarily from the U.S., to funnel them into the Serie A league. So this program, you get your master's in sports management and coaching while playing. And so it was just a very aligned opportunity that I definitely had to take into consideration. I spoke to agents, I reached out to teams in France, and when I laid out all my options, I felt like this opportunity in Italy was the most secure. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty with women's soccer in Europe, whether you're going to get paid, how much you're getting paid, are they going to cover your visa, how are you going to stay in the country, and are they going to be Division I, are they going to be D2 next year? There's just a lot of uncertainty, and for me it was a good decision to make because there was less uncertainty, and I knew that this would be an incredible foot in the door within the European League. So I head out to Florence in August, and we'll see what goes from there. But I'm very excited. I actually have my my Italian 1 book.
There you go.
Popped open right now, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm not completely lost when I get to Florence. But I'm excited. I think this is going to be a great opportunity for my soccer to grow. I'll be learning from the Fiorentina head coach, and I'll be training and learning from the Italian national team coaches in their facilities. So this opportunity, it was very hard to pass up, and I'm grateful for it for sure.
Well, we've already made a little joke here at World Sports Show. John DiCristio's cousin plays in the league, Serie A, right, John?
That's right, Verona.
No way.
Verona DiCristio. So,
Awesome.
so if you play against her, we're already putting a task that you got to swap jerseys. She should probably be like, "What the heck?" Like, well, you see, my buddy's back in U.S. World Sports Show. Their cousin, he's trying to get a hold of a DiCristio jersey. Not sure if he's going to fit it though, but
Definitely. Let's try to connect.
yeah. So best of luck in Italy. Best of luck with Afghanistan, and I guess it's time to grow up. You got the college degree, go out and get the master's and go pro. I mean, that's pretty rock star if you ask me.
Thank you so much. I'm incredibly grateful, and thank you again for having me. This is an amazing opportunity.
No problem. We'll have you on again. So good luck in your tryout, and good luck in Italy.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Good too. So that was Hailai Arghandiwal of Afghanistan women's national team, graduate of Santa Clara, soon to be, hopefully, in the Serie A, so.
Thank you for watching a World Sports Show production. For more info, go to worldsportsshow.com.